You are not satisfying to find this video. This video found you. And if you feel something stirring right now, something beneath the surface that you cannot quite name, a tension between who you have been and who you are becoming, then what I am about to share with you is not information. It is confirmation. Because something inside of you is shifting, something ancient and something new at the same time, something that does not care about your plans, your timelines, or the version of yourself you have been performing for the world. It is deeper than that. It is older than that. And it is more real than anything you have ever been taught to believe about yourself. Most people think transformation is something you pursue, something you earn through effort, through discipline, through reading the right books or attending the right retreats. They think awakening is a destination, a place you arrive at after enough suffering, enough searching, enough trying to get it right. But here is what no one tells you. The deepest transformation you will ever experience is not something you do. It is something that happens to you when you finally stop resisting what you already are. And that is exactly what is happening right now. Not tomorrow, not someday. Right now, in this breath, in this moment, in the space between these words. Your quantum soul is activating. And I know how that sounds. I know the mind wants to dismiss it, categorize it, file it away under things that sound nice but do not mean anything. But stay with me, because what we are going to explore together is not fantasy. It is not wishful thinking. It is the convergence of what the most advanced physics on the planet is revealing and what the deepest wisdom traditions have always known. That you are not a body trying to have a spiritual experience. You are consciousness itself, condensed into form, and right now, that form is being reorganized from the inside out. You are becoming unbreakable. Not because you are getting harder, but because you are finally becoming what cannot be broken. Let that land for a moment. Just breathe with that. There is a reason you have been feeling what you have been feeling lately. The restlessness. The sense that something is off, not in a bad way, but in the way a seed feels off just before it cracks open. The old things that used to comfort you do not comfort you anymore. The old conversations feel shallow. The old patterns feel like wearing clothes that no longer fit. You have been shedding, and shedding is not comfortable. It is not supposed to be. A snake does not shed its skin because it is broken. It sheds its skin because it has outgrown it, and that is what is happening to you. But here is where most people get lost. They feel the discomfort of the shedding and they think something is wrong. They run back to the old skin. They try to force themselves into the shape they used to be. They medicate the restlessness, distract from the tension, numb the signal that is trying to guide them forward. And the signal gets quieter, not because it stops, but because they stop listening. Do not make that mistake. What you are feeling is not a problem to solve. It is an intelligence trying to reach you, and it has been trying to reach you for longer than you know. Let me take you deeper into this. Quantum physics has revealed something that shattered the foundation of classical science, and most people still do not understand the full implications. At the subatomic level, particles do not behave the way objects behave in your everyday experience. An electron, for example, does not exist in a fixed location until it is observed. Before observation, it exists as a wave function, a field of probability, a cloud of potential spread across space. It is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It is not that we do not know where it is. It is that it genuinely does not have a definite position until consciousness interacts with it. The act of observation collapses the wave function into a single point, a single reality, a single experience. Now pause with that. Really let that penetrate beyond the intellectual level. What this means is that at the most fundamental layer of physical reality, consciousness is not a passive witness. It is an active participant in the creation of what is real. The universe does not exist in a fixed state waiting for you to discover it. It exists as infinite potential waiting for you to choose it, waiting for you to collapse it into form through the quality of your attention, your intention, your awareness. This is not metaphor. This is not poetry dressed up as science. This is what the double-slit experiment demonstrated. This is what the measurement problem in quantum mechanics points to. This is what physicists like John Wheeler meant when he said, "We live in a participatory universe. You are not watching reality unfold. You are unfolding it. Every moment, every breath, every choice of where to place your attention. And here is where this connects to what is happening inside you right now. If observation collapses potential into reality at the quantum level, then the quality of your inner observation, the way you see yourself, the way you relate to your own consciousness, is literally shaping the fabric of your experience. Not symbolically, structurally. The field responds to the observer, and you are the observer. If this is resonating with you, if you can feel something in these words that goes beyond the surface, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. It helps more people find this message when they are ready for it. Now, let us keep going. So what happens when the observer begins to change? What happens when the consciousness that has been looking through a particular lens, a lens shaped by conditioning, by trauma, by inherited beliefs, by cultural programming, begins to shift? What happens when that lens starts to crack and a deeper seeing emerges? Everything changes. Not because the external world rearranges itself to please you, but because the very act of seeing differently collapses different possibilities into form. You begin to attract different experiences, not through effort, but through resonance. You begin to respond to situations differently, not through willpower, but through a fundamentally altered relationship with reality itself. This is what activation means. Not that something foreign enters you, but that something native to you, something that was always there, begins to come online, begins to express itself, begins to reorganize your biology, your neurology, your energy, your perception around a deeper coherence. This is your quantum soul activating, and it does not ask for your permission. Think about what happens to water when it reaches a certain temperature. For a long time, you can heat water and it remains water. It gets warmer. It begins to move. Molecules vibrate faster, but it is still recognizably water. Then, at a very specific threshold, everything changes. The water does not just get hotter, it transforms into something entirely different. Steam, a phase transition. The substance is the same, hydrogen and oxygen, but its state of being has fundamentally shifted. It occupies space differently. It moves differently. It interacts with the world differently. It is unrecognizable compared to what it was, and yet it is made of exactly the same thing. This is what is happening to you. You have been heating up. You have been accumulating energy, awareness, experience, insight, pain, growth, all of it adding degrees to your internal temperature. And now you are approaching a threshold, a phase transition of consciousness. You are not becoming a different person. You are becoming a different state of the same person. The same essence expressing itself at a higher order of coherence. And just like water cannot go back to being ice once it has become steam without a fundamental change in conditions, you cannot go back to who you were. The old version of you is not waiting for your return. It has already dissolved. And what is emerging does not yet have a name because you have never been this before. This is why it feels so disorienting. This is why it feels like you are losing yourself, because you are. You are losing the self that was constructed, the self that was assembled from other people's expectations, from survival strategies that no longer serve you, from identities you adopted because they kept you safe in environments that no longer exist. That self is not dying. It is being composted. It is being recycled into the raw material from which something truer can emerge. And here is the part that matters most. You do not have to manage this process. You do not have to figure it out. You do not have to understand every step before you take it. The intelligence that is orchestrating this transformation is the same intelligence that turns food into cells, that heals wounds without your conscious direction, that beats your heart 60 times a minute without you ever having to think about it. It is the intelligence of life itself, and it knows what it is doing, even when you do not. Your only job, your single most important task in this moment, is to stop interfering, to stop trying to control the uncontrollable, to stop forcing the caterpillar to remain a caterpillar when the cocoon has already formed. I want to pause here and ask you something. What is the one thing you have been holding on to that you already know you have outgrown? That pattern, that belief, that version of yourself that no longer fits. Drop it in the comments. Not for me, for you. Because naming it is the first step in releasing it. Let me explain what I mean by unbreakable, because it is not what most people think. The world teaches you that strength means resistance, that being strong means being hard, being tough, being impervious to pain. Build your walls higher, thicken your armor. Do not let anything in. Do not let anything affect you. And so you spend years constructing a fortress around your heart, around your vulnerability, around the tender parts of yourself that once got hurt. And you call that strength. But it is not strength. It is rigidity. And rigidity is the most breakable thing in existence. Think about what happens in an earthquake. The rigid buildings, the ones made of solid concrete with no flexibility, are the ones that collapse. They cannot absorb the energy. They cannot move with the force. They resist, and resistance against a force greater than your structure can withstand means destruction. But the flexible buildings, the ones designed to sway, to bend, to move with the energy rather than against it, those buildings survive. Not because they are harder, because they are more coherent, because their structure is organized around a principle of intelligent responsiveness rather than stubborn resistance. This is the difference between the old paradigm of strength and what your quantum soul is activating within you. You are not becoming harder. You are becoming more coherent. You are not building higher walls. You are dissolving the need for walls altogether, because true unbreakability does not come from being impervious to life. It comes from being so deeply aligned with the flow of life that there is nothing to break. You cannot break water. You can disturb its surface. You can heat it. You can freeze it. You can pour it from one container to another, but you cannot break it, because it has no rigid structure to fracture. It simply adapts. It simply flows. It simply becomes whatever shape is required by the present moment. This is what you are becoming. Not a fortress, a river, not armor, awareness, not a wall, a wave. And this kind of strength, this coherent flexibility, this quantum resilience, it does not come from the mind. The mind cannot create it because the mind is the very thing that built the rigid structures in the first place. The mind is the architect of the fortress. It is brilliant at constructing defenses, at analyzing threats, at planning for worst-case scenarios. But it does not know how to flow. It does not know how to surrender without collapsing. It does not know how to be strong and soft at the same time. This is why the activation you are experiencing feels like it is bypassing your mind. Because it is. It is happening at a level beneath thought, beneath strategy, beneath the personality structure that you have mistaken for yourself. It is happening in the body, in the nervous system, in the field of energy that surrounds and interpenetrates every cell. It is happening in the quantum substrate of your being, where potential has not yet collapsed into pattern, where you are still free, still fluid, still capable of becoming anything. And this is precisely why certain things have been happening in your life that seem to make no logical sense. Relationships ending that you thought were permanent, jobs dissolving that you thought were secure, beliefs crumbling that you thought were foundational. These are not random misfortunes. They are the demolition phase of a renovation so profound that the old structure cannot be preserved. You cannot renovate a house by leaving all the walls exactly where they are. Sometimes you have to take it down to the studs. Sometimes you have to dig up the foundation itself. This is what courage looks like at the quantum level. Not the courage to fight, the courage to let go, the courage to trust the intelligence of the process, even when the process looks like destruction. The courage to stand in the rubble of everything you thought you knew and feel, not despair, but anticipation. Because you know, somewhere beneath the fear, that what is coming is more real than what was lost. Now let me share something with you about coherence, because this is the mechanism through which unbreakability actually works. In physics, coherence refers to the degree to which waves are synchronized. When light waves are coherent, they are all oscillating in the same phase, the same frequency, the same direction. This is what makes a laser different from a light bulb. A light bulb emits photons in every direction, every frequency, every phase. It scatters, it diffuses, it illuminates a room, but it cannot cut through steel. A laser emits photons that are perfectly coherent. Same frequency, same phase, same direction. And that coherence gives it extraordinary power. Not because it has more energy than a light bulb. In many cases, it has less. But because all of its energy is organized, aligned, moving as one. This is exactly what is happening inside you. For most of your life, your energy has been like a light bulb, scattered, diffused, pulled in 100 different directions by competing desires, conflicting beliefs, unresolved emotions, fragmented identities. Part of you wanted one thing, while another part wanted the opposite. Part of you believed you were worthy, while another part carried the wound of not being enough. Part of you reached for the future, while another part clung to the past. And all of that fragmentation meant that your energy, your consciousness, your creative power was dispersed, diluted, weakened not because you lacked power, but because your power was incoherent. What your quantum soul activation is doing is bringing you into coherence. It is aligning the scattered frequencies of your being into a single, unified signal. And this is not a gentle process, because coherence requires the dissolution of everything that is out of alignment. Every belief that contradicts your deepest truth has to go. Every emotional pattern that keeps you oscillating between states has to be resolved. Every identity that fragments your energy has to be released. This is why it feels like everything is falling apart, because everything that was keeping you incoherent is being systematically dismantled. And what emerges on the other side is not just strength, it is power. Not power over anything, power as a state of being, the power of a consciousness that is no longer at war with itself, the power of an energy field that is no longer scattered but focused, the power of a human being who has stopped trying to be everything and has finally become the one thing they actually are. Feel into that for a moment. What would it be like to not be at war with yourself anymore? What would it be like to wake up in the morning and feel every part of you moving in the same direction? What would it be like to speak and have your words carry the weight of your entire being behind them? Not just the part of you that sounds confident, while another part trembles with doubt. What would it be like to make a decision and feel it land in your body like a bell being struck, clean and resonant and true? That is coherence. That is what unbreakable actually means. And that is what is being built inside you right now, whether you can see it or not. But here is where I need to be honest with you about something that most people in this space will not say. This process has a price, and the price is everything you thought you were. You cannot become coherent and keep your contradictions. You cannot become unbreakable and keep your false foundations. You cannot become the laser and remain the light bulb. Something has to be surrendered. And that something is the familiar self, the comfortable self, the self that knew how to navigate the old world, the old relationships, the old patterns. That self has to die, not metaphorically, experientially. You have to feel it dissolve. You have to stand in the gap between who you were and who you are becoming, and resist the urge to fill that gap with another constructed identity. This is the dark night of the soul that every wisdom tradition speaks of, not as punishment, not as failure, as initiation, as the necessary passage through formlessness that precedes every genuine transformation. The caterpillar does not gradually grow wings while remaining a caterpillar. It dissolves into undifferentiated cellular soup inside the cocoon. It loses every recognizable feature. It becomes nothing. And from that nothing, from that absolute surrender of form, the butterfly self-organizes into existence, not through effort, through intelligence, through the activation of what biologists call imaginal cells. Cells that carry the blueprint of the butterfly and that were present in the caterpillar all along, dormant, waiting for the right conditions to express themselves. You have imaginal cells, not biological ones, but the quantum equivalent. Patterns of potential within your consciousness that carry the blueprint of who you are becoming. They have been with you since before you were born. They are encoded in the deepest layer of your being, beneath personality, beneath memory, beneath everything the world has layered on top of you. And they are activating now. Not because you did something right, not because you earned it, because it is time. because the conditions are right. Because you have accumulated enough heat, enough pressure, enough experience to trigger the phase transition. And this is why you found this video, not because an algorithm recommended it, because your imaginal cells recognized the frequency, because the part of you that is already the butterfly heard something in these words that the caterpillar mind cannot understand, but the deeper intelligence within you responds to, like a tuning fork responds to its matching note. So let me ask you something, and I want you to actually sit with this, not just hear it, but feel it. What if you stopped trying to fix yourself? What if the entire project of self-improvement, the endless optimization, the constant striving to become better? What if all of that was actually the very thing preventing the transformation that is trying to happen? Because think about it, self-improvement assumes a broken self that needs to be repaired. It assumes that who you are right now is insufficient, and that through enough effort, enough discipline, enough change, you can become acceptable. But what if you are not broken? What if you were never broken? What if what you interpreted as brokenness was actually the early stages of activation? What if the cracks were not damage but openings? What if the pain was not punishment, but the pressure required to transform carbon into diamond? This is the radical reframe that changes everything. You are not broken and becoming whole. You are whole and remembering it. You are not weak and becoming strong. You are strong and shedding the layers of conditioning that made you forget. You are not lost and finding your way. You are the way, and you are simply clearing the debris that obscured the path that was always beneath your feet. Breathe into that. Let it settle not in your mind, but in your chest, in your belly, in the space behind your eyes where knowing lives before it becomes thought. What we have touched on today, the observer collapsing reality, the phase transition of your consciousness, the shift from incoherence to coherence, this is only the surface of a much deeper system. If you are ready to explore the complete framework, the 9 master frequencies, the journey from survival static to becoming the broadcast itself, I lay it all out step by step in my book, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery. It is linked in the pinned comment below. I am curious about something. When did you first feel it? That moment when you realized the life you were living was not the life that was meant for you. Tell me in the comments. Not the whole story, just the moment. The one that cracked the old world open. Now I want to talk about something that is going to challenge you. Because if you are truly in this activation, you need to hear this. The world is going to misunderstand you. The people around you, many of them, are going to be confused by what is happening to you. Some of them will be threatened by it. Not because they are bad people, but because your transformation is a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see what that mirror reflects. When you begin to vibrate at a different frequency, when your coherence increases, when you stop engaging in the patterns that used to define your relationships, the people who were synchronized with the old, you will feel the dissonance. They will feel something has changed, even if they cannot articulate what it is. And their response will tell you everything about where they are in their own journey. Some will be curious. They will lean in. They will ask what is different about you. They will feel drawn to the new frequency because something in them recognizes it, because their own imaginal cells are beginning to stir. These are your people, not because they are where you are, but because they are oriented in the same direction. But others will resist. They will try to pull you back. They will criticize the changes. They will tell you that you have changed, and they will not mean it as a compliment. They will feel abandoned by your growth because your growth reveals the places where they have chosen stagnation. And this is not their fault. It is simply the nature of resonance. When one instrument in an orchestra changes its tuning, every other instrument either adjusts or creates discord. You cannot control which choice others make. You can only keep tuning yourself to the frequency that is true. And this is one of the hardest parts of becoming unbreakable. Not the internal transformation. That is difficult, but it is between you and the intelligence that is guiding you. The hardest part is the social cost, the loneliness of the in-between, the grief of outgrowing relationships that once meant everything to you, the guilt of choosing your own evolution over other people's comfort. This is where most people turn back. This is where the pull of the familiar becomes so strong that they abandon the transformation and return to the old frequency just to belong again, just to feel the temporary relief of fitting in. Do not do that. I know it hurts. I know the loneliness feels unbearable sometimes. I know there are moments when you wonder if any of this is real, or if you are just losing your mind. But you are not losing your mind. You are finding your soul, and the soul does not navigate by the same map as the mind. The soul does not optimize for comfort. It optimizes for truth. And truth, real truth, the kind that restructures your entire reality, is not comfortable. It is liberating. But liberation and comfort are not the same thing, and confusing them is how people stay trapped in lives that look good on the surface but feel hollow at the core. Let me bring this to the body now, because everything I have been saying is meaningless if it stays in the realm of concept. Concepts do not transform. Experience transforms. And the body is where experience lives. Right now, as you listen to these words, I want you to notice something. Notice where your attention is. Is it in your head, processing, analyzing, evaluating what I am saying? Or is it in your body, feeling, sensing, receiving? For most people, attention lives almost exclusively in the head. We are a civilization of disembodied minds, floating above our bodies, using them as transportation devices for our brains. And this disembodiment is not just a personal habit. It is the primary mechanism through which we remain disconnected from the quantum field of our own being. Because here is what neuroscience and quantum biology are beginning to reveal. The body is not separate from consciousness. The body is consciousness in material form. Every cell in your body is a receiver and transmitter of information. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body. Your gut contains more neurons than a cat's brain. Your fascia, the connective tissue that weaves through every part of you, conducts electrical signals and may function as a body-wide communication network that operates independently of the nervous system. You are not a brain piloting a meat vehicle. You are a unified field of intelligence expressing itself through trillions of coordinated processes that are so complex, so elegant, so breathtakingly precise that no technology we have ever created comes close to replicating them. And this body, this miraculous instrument of consciousness, is where the activation is taking place. Not in your ideas about yourself, not in your spiritual concepts, in your cells, in your nervous system, in the quantum processes occurring in the microtubules of your neurons, which some researchers believe may be the interface between consciousness and physical matter. The transformation is biological. It is energetic. It is happening in the literal substance of your being. This is why you have been experiencing physical symptoms that have no medical explanation. The fatigue that comes and goes in waves. The sudden bursts of energy followed by deep exhaustion. The tingling sensations. The pressure in your head or chest. The changes in sleep patterns. The vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life. The shifts in appetite, in what your body craves and what it rejects. These are not random. These are the physical signatures of a consciousness reorganizing its vehicle. The hardware is being upgraded to run new software. And during the upgrade, the system has to go offline periodically. It has to reboot. It has to integrate. So honor the process. When your body asks for rest, rest. When it asks for movement, move. When it asks for silence, give it silence. When it asks for sound, let it make sound. Stop overriding the intelligence of your body with the agenda of your mind. The mind wants productivity. The body wants coherence. And right now, coherence is more important than productivity. Integration is more important than output. Being is more important than doing. I want to take you into a practice now. Not a technique, not a method, a direct experience. Because the difference between someone who understands transformation intellectually and someone who is actually transforming is the difference between reading about water and being wet. And I want you to be wet. Close your eyes if you can. If you are driving or doing something that requires your visual attention, simply soften your gaze and let your awareness turn inward. Take a breath, not a special breath, not a deep breath, just a conscious breath. A breath that you are aware of. Feel the air entering your nostrils. Feel your chest expand. Feel the pause at the top of the inhale, that moment of fullness, that moment where nothing is moving, where everything is suspended in potential, and then feel the release, the exhale, the letting go, the surrender. Now do it again, but this time, as you breathe in, imagine that you are not just breathing air. You are breathing awareness. You are inhaling consciousness itself, and as it fills you, it illuminates every corner of your being, every cell, every space between cells, every thought, every emotion, every memory, every hope, every fear, all of it bathed in the light of your own awareness. And as you exhale, let everything that is not essential release, not with force, not with effort, with permission. Simply allow whatever wants to leave, whatever wants to dissolve, whatever wants to transform. Stay with this for a few breaths, inhaling awareness, exhaling permission, inhaling light, exhaling weight. Now notice something. In this state, right now, in this breath, are you broken? Is there anything actually wrong with you in this moment? Not in the story of your life, not in the narrative of your past or the anxiety of your future, but right here, right now, in the direct experience of your own being. Is anything missing? If you are honest, truly honest, the answer is no. In this moment, you are complete. In this moment, you are whole. In this moment, you lack nothing. The only thing that ever made you feel incomplete was thought, story, narrative. The mind's interpretation of experience rather than experience itself. And this is not a small realization. This is the realization. This is the ground from which unbreakability grows. Because if you can access this completeness in any moment, through nothing more than the quality of your attention, then nothing external can truly take it from you. Circumstances can change. People can leave. Plans can fail. The body can hurt. But this awareness, this presence, this fundamental okayness that exists beneath every experience, this cannot be taken. This cannot be broken, because it was never constructed in the first place. It is not a thing that was built. It is the space in which all things are built and all things dissolve. And you are that space. Open your eyes slowly if they were closed. Come back to the room, but bring that awareness with you. Do not leave it behind like something that only exists. Your eyes are closed. It is here now. It is always here. It is what you are. This is what the quantum soul activation is revealing to you. Not a new ability, not a superpower, not something you did not have before. It is revealing the ground of your being that was always present, but obscured by the noise of conditioned existence. And as that ground becomes more and more apparent, as you learn to rest in it more consistently, as it becomes not just a peak experience but a baseline state, something extraordinary happens. You become unshakable, not because nothing affects you, but because you are no longer identified with the things that are affected. The waves still come, the storms still blow, the challenges still arise, but you are no longer the boat being tossed on the surface. You are the ocean itself, and the ocean does not fear its own waves. This is the deepest understanding of what it means to be unbreakable. It is not about endurance. It is not about toughness. It is not about surviving. It is about recognizing that what you truly are was never in danger in the first place. The part of you that can be hurt is real, and its pain deserves compassion. But it is not the totality of what you are. It is a wave on the surface of an ocean so vast, so deep, so fundamentally indestructible, that the concept of breaking does not even apply. And when you live from this recognition, when you move through the world as the ocean rather than the wave, everything changes. Your relationships change because you are no longer approaching others from a place of need, but from a place of fullness. Your work changes because you are no longer creating from desperation, but from overflow. Your health changes because your nervous system is no longer in chronic survival mode, but in a state of coherent creativity. Your entire experience of being alive changes because you are no longer experiencing life through the filter of a frightened, separate self, but through the clear lens of consciousness, recognizing itself in every form it encounters. This is not the end of challenge. This is not the end of difficulty. This is not some fantasy of a life without pain. Pain is part of the human experience, and it serves a function. But suffering, the layer of resistance and story and identification that we add on top of pain, that begins to dissolve. And without the suffering, the pain becomes something different. It becomes information. It becomes sensation. It becomes energy moving through a system that is open enough to let it pass, rather than rigid enough to trap it. Let me tell you about something that happens at the quantum level that perfectly mirrors this process. In quantum mechanics, there is a phenomenon called quantum tunneling. It occurs when a particle passes through a barrier that, according to classical physics, it should not be able to cross. The particle does not have enough energy to go over the barrier. By all classical calculations, it should be stopped, blocked, trapped. But quantum mechanics reveals that the particle does not go over the barrier. It goes through it. It tunnels through what appears to be an impenetrable wall because at the quantum level, the particle exists as a probability wave, and that wave extends beyond the barrier. There is a non-zero probability that the particle will appear on the other side. And it does. Regularly, predictably, in defiance of everything classical physics says should be possible. You are doing this right now. You are tunneling through barriers that your classical self, your conditioned mind, your logical understanding says should stop you. The barrier of past trauma, the barrier of limiting beliefs, the barrier of generational patterns, the barrier of a world that tells you who you are allowed to be and what you are allowed to experience. Your classical self looks at these barriers and says impossible, but your quantum soul does not operate by classical rules. It exists as a wave of possibility that extends beyond every barrier you have ever encountered, and it is pulling you through. Not over, not around. Through the very center of what you thought would stop you. And on the other side is not some magical paradise where nothing is hard. On the other side is you. The real you. The you that exists beyond the barriers. The you that was always there, waiting patiently on the other side of every wall you built, every limit you accepted, every story you believed about what was possible for your life. This is why the activation feels like it is pushing you toward your deepest fears rather than away from them. Because the tunnel goes through the barrier, not around it. You cannot bypass your shadow. You cannot skip the difficult material. You cannot quantum leap over the unresolved pain. You have to go through it. But here is the grace. You do not have to go through it alone. And you do not have to go through it as the small, frightened self that originally encountered the pain. You go through it as the consciousness that you are now, with the awareness you have now, with the coherence you are building now, and that makes all the difference. Because the trauma that was unbearable to a child is not unbearable to the consciousness that you have become. The pain that was overwhelming to an earlier version of you is not overwhelming to the version that has been forged in the fire of your own awakening. You are ready for what is coming. Not because you are perfect, not because you have figured it all out, but because the intelligence that is orchestrating your transformation would not be activating this phase if you were not ready to integrate it. Life does not give you experiences you cannot handle. It gives you experiences that expand your capacity. And your capacity is expanding right now in ways you cannot yet see but will soon feel. Consider listening to this again tomorrow morning before the world rushes in. Let these words become the frequency you start your day from. And if there is someone in your life who is going through their own shedding, their own dark night, send this to them. When you share this kind of awareness, you do not just pass along information. You create a ripple in the collective field. You strengthen the signal for both of you. You collapse a new possibility into being simply by extending the invitation. There is one more thing I want to share with you, and it is perhaps the most important thing of all. This activation, this becoming, this quantum soul coming online, it is not just for you. You are not becoming unbreakable for your own benefit alone. You are becoming unbreakable because the world needs unbreakable people right now. Not rigid people, not armored people, not people who have numbed themselves into invulnerability. The world needs people who are so deeply rooted in their own being that they can stand in the middle of chaos and remain coherent. People who can hold space for others without losing themselves. People who can face the darkness without being consumed by it because they carry their own light. People who can love without grasping, lead without controlling, create without attachment, and serve without depletion. The world is going through its own phase transition right now, its own quantum activation. Old systems are collapsing. Old paradigms are dissolving. Old structures that seemed permanent are revealing their impermanence. And in the gap between what was and what will be, there is tremendous uncertainty, tremendous fear, tremendous potential. And what determines which potential collapses into reality is the consciousness of the observers. The consciousness of the people who are present during the transition. Your consciousness. This is not grandiosity. This is physics applied to collective reality. The observer affects the observed. And you are an observer. Your state of being, your level of coherence, your degree of alignment with truth, these are not personal luxuries. They are contributions to the collective field. When you become more coherent, the field around you becomes more coherent. When you heal, you create a template of healing that others can access. When you become unbreakable, you become a stabilizing force in a world that desperately needs stability. Not the false stability of rigidity, the true stability of a consciousness that has found its ground. So do not think of this journey as selfish. Do not let anyone tell you that focusing on your own transformation is self-indulgent. The most revolutionary thing you can do in a world addicted to noise is become still. The most radical thing you can do in a world obsessed with doing is learn to be. The most transformative thing you can do for others is transform yourself. Because you cannot give what you do not have, and you cannot lead where you have not been. You are being called, not by me, not by this video, by something so much larger than any of us, by the intelligence that spins galaxies and grows forests and orchestrates the migration of birds across continents without a single map. That intelligence is alive in you. It is you, and it is saying now, not later, not when you are ready, not when you have figured it out. Now. So here is what I want you to do, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, in the next few moments after this video ends, I want you to sit in silence for just 2 minutes. Not meditating in any formal sense, not trying to achieve any state, just sitting, just being, just letting the echoes of these words settle into your body like rain settling into soil. And in that silence, I want you to ask one question, not with your mind, with your whole being. The question is this: what is trying to emerge through me? Do not answer it. Do not think about it. Just hold it. Let it be an open question, a space of not knowing, a fertile void in which something new can take root. And then get up and go about your day. But carry that question with you. Let it work on you. Let it dissolve the barriers from the inside. Let it tunnel through every wall between you and the truth of what you are. Because you are not becoming unbreakable. You are remembering that you always were. The unbreakable one was never absent. It was never damaged. It was never lost. It was simply waiting. Waiting for you to stop looking for it out there and to finally turn your gaze inward. To finally come home. To finally recognize the face that has been looking back at you from behind every mirror, every dream, every moment of unexpected grace. You are that. You have always been that. And now, finally, beautifully, irreversibly, you are beginning to know it. If these words landed somewhere real in you, if you felt something shift, even slightly, even subtly, leave a single word in the comments. Just one word that captures what you are feeling right now. Not a sentence, not an explanation, just one word. Let it be your signal to the field that you are here, that you are awake, that you are activating. And if you want to continue this journey, if you want to go deeper into these waters, subscribe to this channel. Not for content, for coherence, for the reminder that you are not alone in this process, that there are others tunneling through their own barriers, shedding their own old skins, becoming their own versions of unbreakable. And together, in coherence, we are more powerful than any of us could be alone. The quantum soul does not activate in isolation. It activates in resonance. And this, right here, right now, is our resonance. Until next time, stay in the frequency. Trust the process. And remember, you are not becoming something new. You are becoming what you have always been. And what you have always been is beyond anything that could ever be broken.